Hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight? It is May 3rd, 2022, Tuesday. Time for Terrific Tuesday. I'm Deanna, your Akashic Records expert and energy shift advisor and founder of the Spiritual Awakening Academy. It is so good to see everybody tonight. Big hugs and kisses to you. You know, one of my taglines, something I say over and over is it just me? And I've been saying that for years. And what I find out is no, it's not just me, it's other sensitives and empaths as well. So tonight, I'm going to talk to you about the next level of Jumanji. Are you ready? Because ready or not, here it comes. If you have any questions tonight, just go ahead and put them down here in the feed, and I will answer those as soon as I can. And if you're on YouTube, you can put them down below and I answer those as well. And if you find any value in what we're doing tonight, please share the video and click like, and I would really appreciate it. And that way we can spread more of the word about what's going on in the planet for empaths, sensitives, and highly sensitive people and starseeds. Anyway, welcome everybody. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about Jumanji. And basically, we are playing Empath Jumanji. And so what does that look like? Well, Jumanji means many effects. And so as a sensitive, as an empath, you may be feeling the many effects of what's going on this planet. And there's a few different areas that I'd like to talk about tonight. And again, if you have any questions, just go ahead and put them down below. I'm going to get to those just as soon as I can. Let's see here, get on my other devices here so I can see your questions as they pop up. Here you go. Okay, so okay, so we got that. All right, now what we're looking at is Empath Jumanji. So we're looking at many effects happening all at the same time. And for those of you that are very sensitive, you're going to find that there is just a myriad of experiences that are happening on this planet all at the same time. And it just really, you know, it depends on where you are in space and time. It depends on, you know, what is it that you're seeking and where are you in being awake, aware, and alert. And after I get done with that, I will do a little Akashic record reading to see where we are in space and time. So hang out for that. All right, let's see. Get my phone headed in the right direction here so I can see your questions. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is, are you equipped to handle it? So let me tell you what happened to me and also a client I was working with today. So I'm sure some of you are going through this. On Monday, I came to my office and I had scheduled out the time to work on the Spiritual Awakening Academy and other things that I have coming up. Went to the gym, drank plenty of water, ate the right food, and I could not get my mind in the game. I could not get my mind to focus. And so I'm thinking to myself, you know, I have a video to make and get out to my clients. You know, I have documentation to write about things I've taught hundreds of times, and it's easy and effortless. So why can't I make this work? So I thought, well, maybe it's mental fatigue because I have been doing a lot lately. And then I thought, yeah, maybe it's just, no, I don't know. So I did a Akashic Records clearing for myself. And I asked my guides, I'm like, why is it I can't seem to focus? Because every time I did, it was like, I'd say, look here. And instead of looking here, I'd be looking over here. And I just couldn't get the brain to work. And it felt weird. And I was having trouble grabbing a breath too. I felt like my lungs were constricted. And so once I checked into different levels of soul consciousness, once I was looking at, okay, what's wrong for me? What I found is there was another energy that was coming from the collection of energies that I've experienced over this lifetime. So basically, it's like playing Jenga. And you have all these different energies that are stacking up above you because of either things you wanted to achieve while you were here on this planet or things that maybe you haven't looked at. And your soul is like, okay, now you're going to look at this. You don't have any choice. And here it is. And so I've been working on up leveling my game and being more healthy, eating more clean, and getting lots more done in a day. And so, interestingly enough, part of my energy was pushing back. If you ever, if you tell somebody they're bad or wrong and you draw a boundary, you expect pushback. But I didn't expect any pushback from my own silly self. But that's what I got. So in this space that we're in this Jumanji game, if you will, we are shifting energies quickly, and there's solar flares and there's different planets that are going different directions, and it just makes a giant playing board for all of us that are here. It just makes everything just really, if you will, weird and different than what we're used to. And so as these changes take place, my guides were telling me that God, Spirit, Source put these in motion to keep us moving along, because otherwise, we just do everything over and over again, kind of laid back, made in the shade. So with these frequencies changing, it affects our minds, which affects our bodies, which affects our souls, and it keeps us shifting in different directions. It keeps us moving forward, that forward momentum that we all seek if we're going to achieve anything. So I am going to do a screen share, and I'm going to show you where we are in, let's see here, in this current Jumanji game, because it really is a great name. Jumanji means many effects. So let me share the screen here, and I will show you the Schumanns Frequency, which is the heartbeat of the Earth, which is the bioelectromagnetic frequency of the planet. So here it comes. Let me pull it up. Okay, so Schumann's, for those of you who've never seen it, is a measurement of the electricity on the planet, and they call it the heartbeat of the Earth. And when we have a lot of frequency going on at a very low hertz, that's when our minds, our conscious and subconscious human minds, are stimulated. And so I want the desired outcome here today is the 3rd. And so I was telling you that on Monday, I was just really having trouble focusing and staying in my game and getting stuff done. I love my job. There's no pressure to do what I do because I love it so much. And so it's like, why am I resisting? And this energy that had been in my energy field since my time of creation, from soul, my soul level, coming down into my physical body, had been programmed with a particular frequency or vibration, which when stimulated in my movement forward caused what felt like a pushback. So here we are. This is May the 2nd of 2022. 0 hertz is like the sound. It's where your mind will still, your ego will still, and you can be connected directly to the divine. So if you'll notice, along about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the evening, and then right around time we're going to sleep, here was a bunch of stimulation. So the pressure is felt up here. So it's no wonder I couldn't get anything done, because I could feel that pressure building and coming. And so as a result, I had a high level of anxiety and had no idea why. And I've been really good about drinking more green tea and less coffee so that the amygdala is not stimulated and you're not freaky deaky. And there was nobody breathing down my neck, to do something that, I was trying to do at the last minute. So logically, there was no reason for the anxiety, but I felt it, and it felt like a constriction of my lungs. And so once I found this, from yesterday, I was like, oh, there's why. And it's easy to understand because you've got your connection to spirit, God, or source right here at the tippy top. Then you come down a little bit, you have your mental energy, your emotional energy, your physical energy here, and then a little bit of your stimulation of the spirit energy down below, as I understand it. But this is your connection to God. This is your divinity, if you will, instead of more or less spirit. So that's what's happening. And then if you look again today I was also challenged, and I cleared some more energies for myself straight away, because I knew, I'm like, oh, something's coming. And then I had a client call me today and she had the same thing going on. So I was like, okay, it's not just me. Anyway, so here we have March the 3rd, which is today. And so we're right here, 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So we go back to noon, and you'll notice that there's some disturbance along about where the mental energy would be. But before that, look at all this spiritual energy that we were sleeping in last night. And you probably had some really strange dreams, really vivid dreams, and not understanding what they were about. So that I'm going to stop the share, but that's what part of our Jumanji game, if you will, looks like. And it can be very disconcerting to go through that and not know why and not understand why. That's why. Because the energy of the earth, the electromagnetic energy, is stimulating the brain, which is the way we think. And if somebody has control of your mind, they basically have control of you. But this is the earth controlling us by divine order to get us to move forward and clean out the gunk. All right. So the next part of this Jumanji game is keeping your emotions in check. So the stimulation right now is to check our emotions. It's where are we emotionally? Are we solid? Are we stable? Where are we? Are we working on something? And a lot of the sensitives will notice that you're working on deep issues that are from years ago, or things you thought you put to rest or cauterized or put to the side. And those things are coming up again. So my loving advice to you is that you take a look at them. Don't push them away. Don't push them to the side, but actually look at them. Look at what's happening in your life. What's being brought forward? What memories are coming forward? What are you dreaming about? Because that's where the Jumanji game is. That's where the many effects are. Because God, Spirit, or Source is asking you to quicken. That means to come quickly to this place of balance. And these things that you haven't taken care of, it's like quick, hurry up. Because all the planets have been direct or on one side for a while. And so you can see them, very unique formations of the planets. And that makes the frequency over here kind of one-sided. And now they're going to start to come over one by one, sometimes 2 by 2, and go into retrograde. So it's going to be like taffy. If you've ever seen a taffy machine, imagine the candy's between here and it goes like this, where it just pulls and pushes and pulls and pushes. And that's what the energies are going to be like for the next 6 months. So now is the time to ditch the poop and to search in your heart and look at things that are lining up. So what is it that you've dealt with in the past, especially in childhood and early adulthood, that wasn't very comfortable, that maybe you suppressed or pushed away or ran away from? It is being brought up again in your life, but in a different aspect. So it's the same energy frequency, it's the same drama, if you will, but it's in a different package. So you'll have to look a little bit to understand it. And if you're like, I don't know, Deanna, I feel the same way you do, but I don't know what's in my life that's right here that I'm not paying attention to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend to you an offer to come and work with me for half an hour. Most of you know that's not, a half an hour isn't long enough. But if you're just new to this, and I'm talking to the person who just happened across this, that their guide skipped them across this, or a friend shared it, you know who you are, and you've been looking for answers. So this coming up Friday, if you would like to get on my schedule for half an hour, I'm going to ask you to call 303-964-9339. That's 303-964-9339. And I am going to be at the For Heaven's Sakes books in Lakewood, Colorado. If you need help with that, private message me here on Facebook. If you're on YouTube or my toolsofenergyprotection.com, go over to services and click on that. You can schedule a time. If they're all full, then click on contact and reach out to me that way. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me, because these times are just very difficult, very challenging. If you've ever seen the second movie of Jumanji, You'll notice that they do a lot of running towards the end, you know, a lot of dodging of things. And that's what we all feel like. And so there are answers, there is help to bring you upright. So if you're feeling like this, there's a way to bring you upright, but it's by shifting your consciousness, your spirit consciousness. And currently I am shifting my physical body and finding out all kinds of things about eating clean so that I can, if you will, be a lean, mean fighting machine. But as those of you that know me personally, you know I'm not a fighter. But anyway, you know, when you're carrying around the extra weight, you know, it's a lot more to move in space and time. And so when you're slimmer, it's much easier. Plus your gut is working and you're getting more fuel to do what you need to do. And I have a lot of work going on right now. So time for me to slim down some. Anyway, I know, TMI, right? That's what you come on Tuesday Night Lives for. Okay, so the next thing I'd like to talk to you about is toxic energy identified and targeted. Okay, so we talked about keeping our emotions in check. If you're feeling emotional and your emotions aren't in check, look at what's going on in your life and think back when you've seen this happen before, or reach out to me and we'll do it together. Because I know sometimes for me, I can't always do these things by myself. I need someone else to reflect back to me what's happening, because sometimes you can't see the back of your hair when you're doing it. You gotta have a mirror, right? Anyway, toxic energy is identified and targeted. Okay, so right now in this game of Jumanji, which means many effects, what's happening is you've got energies coming from all kinds of directions, and a lot of people are freaking out on this planet because you've got, you know, wars and rumors of wars, and they're like, oh, is it Armageddon, the end time? No, not yet. I'll let you know, not yet. But we are in one current timeline. I've told you time and time again, just like Einstein said, there are many realities existing all at the same time. Your soul and your consciousness watching here and now is in a universe. And in the universe, we're in a particular planetary system. And in that, we're on a world called Earth. And that Earth is a living, breathing being. And I wish those of you that create chemicals and big chemical companies, you know who you are. I wish you would stop it, because you are really toxing Mother Earth. Okay, into political soapbox. Anyway, so here is Earth and we are on it. And my guides have told me, and Spirit today and I were, you know, God, Spirit, Source and I were talking today, because I wanted to be sure I had this right. Our planet Earth is one planet in a solar system. It is a small part of a galaxy. It is a small part of a universe, and there are many universes. And my beautiful mentor, Robert, who's no longer in body, he said that there are Googles of universes. Now imagine that. Imagine if you are like me, you go to a sporting event, I love hockey, and you imagine each seat is an entire universe. That's not even a Google. And each universe has several planets in it that can support life, or Star Trekkies, or Trekkies, an M-class planet. And so we as souls will go and live on a particular planet, in a body, in a time, to experience things. And this time and space on this planet Earth in 2022 is one of the most highly prized times to live in. It is one of the most highly prized times to live in. There are many beings that are watching this planet as it evolves. And we reached that pinnacle a couple Augusts ago when there was an eclipse. And that's when the vibrational frequency of the new heaven and the new earth basically superimposed itself over the world we have now. And you can imagine that much like being a mold over a sandcastle. And that vibrational frequency began to shift our planet in all kinds of ways. And those of us that are star seeds, aware, awake, and alert, were like, hello, what's going on? And we began to see two realities. And you will see the reality that's presented to you in social media, the reality that is presented to you on the news or in the newspaper, the reality that's presented to you on the stock market. And then there's the reality behind that. And then there's the spiritual reality. And then there's our souls. And all of these realities have converged into a single timeline right at this present moment. And we're all moving forward on it. And so as a collective consciousness, the star seeds, you know who you are. You came here to do a job. You're starting to wake up. Your body is changing. Your structure is changing. You can't seem to eat the same foods you used to. You can't really hang out with the same people you used to because you don't find them, to be as interesting as they used to be. Interesting may not be the right word, but you know what I mean. You've been hanging out with these people for so long and all of a sudden you're like, you just don't feel like you belong anymore. Some of you feel like you have a purpose deep inside of you and you're like, what is it? What is it? Those are the people that are awakening now. Those are the people that their consciousness level will raise, their frequency will raise. So there'll be a higher level vibration, more joy, more love will come from them. And that is going to help our planet as our planet begins to shift into, not literally, but energetically, spiritually, the new heaven and the new earth is starting to lift up from the old heaven and the old earth. And in order to do that, it's got to be pretty much one timeline for a while. There's many possibilities from that timeline, but that's where we are. And so my question to you is, are you ready for this game of Jumanji? Do you have the equipment? Do you have what it takes? Do you have the skills? Do you have the spiritual shielding? Do you have the belief to step forward into the unknown? Are you solid enough with God's spirit or source that no matter what is happening around you, you know that you will be guided in the right direction? You know things will come together for your highest good because you have a mission to do. Right here, right now. And if you are ready to step into that and you're like, Deanna, that is so me, what do I do? Then I'm going to ask you to go to toolsofenergyprotection.com, click on Spiritual Awakening Academy. Click on the application and apply for the academy. The people that are coming into this academy are those that are ready, willing, and able to take on their divine right, because they know there's something not right in the world, but they're not sure what it is. They know they have gifts, but they've never allowed themselves to do it before. A lot of them are very black and white people, like engineering type, mathematicians, biologists, chemists. Those kind of people are like, there's something not right. And the beauty of that is that they were steeped in science and, things follow a certain pattern and it's very logical. And the Akashic Records are the same way. They're very logical. So these people are coming into the collective consciousness of the light that's going to lift this planet up into a time of more joy, peace, and happiness than the Armageddon that some people are putting out there that they think are happening. If that's what you're thinking is happening, then that's the reality you're going to go to, bottom line. Anyway, if you have any questions, please put them below. I'm going to answer the questions for those of you that are brave enough to stay on tonight. And for those of you watching the recording. Okay, please do share the video if you find it to be of some value. Now, so our emotions are in check. Toxic energy is identified and targeted. What do I mean by that? So if you've got anxiety, phobia, fears, things bothering you, like I did the other day, I targeted it with energy clearing and I'm like, where is this coming from? Why is it coming? And let's clear it up because I have work to do. You know, I have information to send out to all of you from my heart. You know, the Bible says, he who has an ear, let him hear. Of course, masculine. So she who has an ear, let her hear. But if you're hearing the high-pitched whine and frequency off and on, that's your calling. That is your connection to downloads and upgrades and all kinds of information that you require to do your job. That is your manna from heaven. That is your guidance point. And if you don't have that, you're going to be on the Jumanji map without a GPS system. And it will suck for you. It will suck. So if you're hearing that high-pitched whine, that frequency in your ears, and you know it's not tinnitus, then it's time to get moving forward and find out what information is in there. How can it help you in these times? How can it uplift you? How can it keep you centered and balanced and knowing where things are going in this planet so that you don't live in fear? And the desired outcome is that you don't live in fear. So I'm going to check my notes real quick because I have an astrologer that I consult because that's what he does. And I know that the planet's alignment changes the frequency of the planet. So I was asking about that the other day, and what I found out is letting go of fear. This is the time to let go of fear. And this is the time to make changes in your structure. How are you supporting yourself? I have a great spiritual life, but going to the gym and eating healthy every day is a must. And so I'm working on that, changing that structure of support for my physical body. And do you feel like you're stuck in toxic energy? That's what I was talking. I was, stressed out and anxiety. I couldn't figure out why. So I cleared that energy. What does clearing means? I transmuted it, transcended it. It was within my grasp to take that energy and recognize it right in front of my face, recognize it and say, this is something I no longer desire to live by, and I let it go. And you're like, oh, Deanna, maybe it's not that easy for me to let it go. I don't know how. That's why that's why I put out there the Spiritual Awakening Academy, and I'm offering it to you all. And I'll offer smaller classes as they come along. So if you're feeling like this is your calling, it's not too late to get signed up. We just did the first week for the May class, and there's 2 more weeks coming up, and then there'll be a little bit of a break. So if you don't get in, don't worry about it. You can catch up. And there's a sense of community there. And we've started our community where people could talk back and forth and let us know what's happening for them so we don't feel so alone anymore. That's why my tagline is, it's just me. And it isn't just me. It's all of you as well. All right. So the next thing that the astrologer was telling me is a lot of people are in really weird spaces in relationships right now. Really super weird spaces in relationships right now. And the weird space I'm in is the relationship with my own silly self. Being more structured, more disciplined, used to, I was like, okay, I got 15 things to get done this week. And this is a time period that I have to get it done in. And I just kind of hodgepodge it until it was all done and stress out about it. Well, that's no way to be. Because then you stress out about it. You're doing the whack-a-mole all the time. Oh, I gotta put this fire out, gotta put that fire out. Wait, this fire is now. Oh, you gotta back to the blah, blah, blah. Can't wait to see how they put that in closed captions. Anyway. So what I'm learning is to make a list or a desired outcome and to get myself going in a particular manner where I'm sequencing what I'm doing every day so it has more of a rhythm to it. And this is not only in my business life, but this is my personal life as well. So that you just get this nice sequencing of energy going and flowing. That's the desired outcome, is to have a flow of energy right now. That's how to win Jumanji. To have that divine connection, support your physical body, and move forward knowing that you will be led in the right direction to where you are safe, cared for, nurtured, provided for, and lifted up. And once I cleared that energy for myself yesterday, I felt 100% better. Had got up this morning, felt like $1 million. All right, let me see if there are any, oh yes, relationships in a weird space. So relationships to other people. If you're hanging out with people that don't have the same frequency as you, that aren't rising up, that don't understand what's happening, and they're just putting their blinders on and worrying and going about their everyday, life and what's going to happen next, and who's going to do what to what country, and is there going to be a food shortage, which, by the way, people, there's not a food shortage. That's baloney. That's a wag the dog situation. And then also the gas prices, totally ridiculous. We went almost 2 years with hardly anybody going anywhere in the United States for 2 years because of COVID. Everybody stayed home, stayed in place. And then once we got back on the game, everybody started going out again. The gas prices doubled. What, for 2 years, there was some kind of shortage going on that we didn't know about? Anyway, again, I have to get off my soapbox. I try not to get on too much, but these are things for you to think about. Come on. If you want to know what's happening on this planet, follow the money. Follow the money. Anyway, let's see here. Let's see if I have any questions. Okay, hi to Maria. Maria, good to have you on board. Hi, Paul. Always good to have you on board. Let's see here. Meredith. Meredith says, don't forget addiction. Okay. Yes, Meredith. We were talking about the Jumanji game and some of the energies being like addiction. And I'm intuiting, Meredith, that the addictive quality of being in anxiety, the more anxiety you have, the more you create, the more you want, because it kind of keeps you in a safe space in your subconscious mind. Thank you, Meredith. I hope this is what you were indicating. So in the past, the way that I grew up and I was raised, I was on high alert all the time because you didn't want to do the wrong thing. You didn't want to step in the wrong shoes. You wanted to anticipate what's going to happen. So you're on this high alert vigilance all the time because you didn't want to get in trouble, because you didn't want to have love taken from you. You didn't want to have the feelings of abandonment. And so those have become a behavioral pattern in your brain. And then as you grow up as an adult, you're attempting to do something different, and the brain pulls you back into it, and you end up in this addictive cycle of creating the same energy that you grew up with over and over. So, in my 30s, the way I created it was to always be late with my bills. I could have $1,000 in my bank account, $500 worth of bills, and they would never get paid. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I pay my bills on time? And finally I figured out, well, if I don't pay my bills on time, then I'm in trouble. Then somebody's going to call. They're going to go, oh, you owe this money. Well, this is the old days. Now they just send you a text. And that would build anxiety. And that's the same behavioral pattern from when I was younger. If there was no anxiety, then you didn't feel safe, as weird as that sounds. But I'm sure some of you can relate to that. Meredith, give me a thumbs up if that's what you were talking about, because I want to make sure I got it. Paul says, having weird and vivid dreams last night. Absolutely. We as souls, are working things out. So when your physical body is sleeping, your soul may go down different timelines and look at things that happened in the past to get out the negative energy, like the things we've talked about tonight. And as you get that negative energy out, your soul is working it out in your dream state. And so the dreams that come to you may not make sense. Like you may feel like you're standing on a basketball court, and all of a sudden the basketball court crumbles and you fall down in it, and that doesn't make sense. Well, the basketball court is the game of life. And you're standing on what you thought was a solid game plan, and you're making baskets and, scoring, so to speak, money or whatever. And right now with the world shifting and changing, we can't play the same old game. So the floor drops, so that you're dropping out of that game into something more spectacular. All right, let's look at the questions again. So the good comment, Paul. Danny says, best time to eat only foods that heal and serve nutritional value, including the way food is prepared, etc. Yes, yes, Danny, and it totally makes sense. It can be a challenge. I want to tell you about one other addiction. Meredith was talking about addictions. I asked my guides the other day to give me some more information about, dieting, but not the word die with a T, but flourishing. Instead of diet, they should call it flourish. Nourish, flourish. There you go. There's $1 million idea. Whoever wants to come up with that company and sell. Anyway, in your nourish, flourish, I knew that I was having trouble retaining weight, and I work out, and I think I eat pretty clean. And today on my YouTube, when I was looking through the YouTube channel, a commercial came up, which most of us hit skip. And she was talking about nutrition and what the gut needs in order to digest. And if it doesn't understand what it's digesting, it pushes it into a fat store, which I never thought about really before. So when you're detoxing, you have to be really careful. But anyway, I digress. Different subject. All right, Danny, good. Let's see here. I'm glad that you gave us that. Yes, foods that make enormous difference in raising our frequency. Yes, if you have poor gut health, your gut's not digesting properly, you'll have poor physical energy, which makes it harder to connect with our divine self. You're absolutely right, Danny. Deborah, good to have you aboard. Kim, hi, Kim. I miss you. I'll see you Saturday. Meredith, oh, you were talking to Meredith says it wasn't what she meant, but way more valuable. You're welcome. Danny says, and after this, I'm going to do an Akashic Records reading for the collective consciousness. So stick around. Let's see. Danny says, I've been having nonstop vivid dreams for a few months, and they became even more clear once I started sleeping. With my head facing south to southeast direction. Good call, Danny. I'm so glad. Maybe you can journal some of those and just have some wordplay, like a floor. What else could a floor be? Stability, foundation, that kind of thing. All right, Kelly says, sorry, I'm late. I also had a very vivid dream last night about something I've been trying to manifest. Awesome. I hope it was a good dream. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. I'm going to shuffle the cards and do an Akashic record reading. The cards are much more pretty than me using my pendulum with my charts or just intuiting. So just remember that Jumanji means many effects. And right now we have many effects going on mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and energetically. And if it is your desired outcome to claim your power, then I'm going to ask for you to go over to toolsoferenergyprotection.com, click on the Spiritual Awakening Academy, and you can read a little bit about what we're doing in the Academy. It's going to be a sense of community and people being able to give ideas to each other. You're going to learn how to access and clear the Akashic Records for your own self. I know a lot of my clients have told me, I didn't know you could clear the records. And so they've read books and access their lifetimes and all that kind of stuff, but they didn't know that they could clear the energy, or as I was once recently asked, what does it mean, clear the energy? And it means to transmute it or transform it. So if you have a particular vibrational frequency coming in that's negative, 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 you go to the Akashic Records, the Book of Life, and you see where that negative energy strand is. Then you grab onto it and you flip it over so that it becomes positive. And sometimes you have to totally just get rid of it, like taking the trash out at your house and then putting a new trash bag in. But in the new trash bag would be love and balance. Okay, this is interesting. I'm shuffling the cards and a whole bunch of them fell. So maybe that's our reading for tonight. Anyway, okay, if you have a question, let's see here. Oh, I'm glad it was a good dream for you, Kelly. So if you have a question, if you have a singular question of something that you'd like to know is in your Akashic Records, like what do the Akashic Records indicate about my love life right now? Or what do the Akashic Records indicate are my blocks right now to health or to wealth or to romance? Or even what's my next step, right? Sometimes we've written that into our records in advance and we just haven't experienced it yet. So I'm shuffling the cards to do a reading for the planet, the collective consciousness, if you will. And if you have a separate question after that, I will answer separate questions. Also, you're going to see at the bottom of your screen on Facebook, it says send stars to your comments. And basically, what's going on is that, let's see here. You can push on the bottom, it says send stars below. And so what happens is that if you click on the stars, if you've never done it on Facebook, go find out how to do it, because you have to put a little money on there. It's like a little credit card. But when you click stars instead of hearts or smiley faces or thumbs up, it will send a little bit of cash to me and help me keep the lights on. It's just a way to give back. All right. So collective consciousness. Ask for what's going to happen for the next 6 months. The collective consciousness. While I'm shuffling these cards again, I'll be at For Heaven's Sakes Books in Denver. You can do a phone appointment, a Zoom appointment, or come see me in person. And to schedule, I'll be there on Thursday and Friday this week. It's an extra special day. I'll be at 303-964-9339. Make sure that you schedule straight away, because last week and the week before that, I was all booked out Thursday morning, so I didn't have a spot to spare, and I even took 2 extra people that day. So if you're wanting to get your energies cleared, or want to know what kind of crazy stuff is going on in your house, give me a buzz. All right. Akashic Records for the planet. So I'm pulling the cards for our collective consciousness for Earth to see where we're headed next. All right. So the first thing I got, interesting, is the balance card. So remember, I asked where our planet is going. Where's the collective consciousness going for the next 6 months? And the first thing I got was the balance card. And there you can see on the desk the scales of balance, and you've got scrolls of knowledge on one side, and you've got money on the other. And that's what my guides told me, is that I'm going to begin to balance my life so that the amount of energy that I'm putting out to serve and to do good works will bring me back the money that I need in order to serve everybody. So I'll be supported in what I'm doing. So that's pretty cool. That looks like the planet as well. Then the next card I got is the chess game. So I was calling it Jumanji tonight. So here it's coming up. The Akashic Records for this world we live on is a chess game. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of strategy going on with the powers at B. The powers at B. And there's many moves that they're making that I can see on the chessboard right at the present moment. Just look at what's happening on the world scene. What are they shining up really big, blowing up big in the news for everybody to look at? What shiny object? While this is going on in the background. Just have a look at that. And as we go forward, keep an eyeball on that, but do not live in fear. Remember, it is only a chess game. It's just a game. And at the end of this life, we will go home to the other side, back to God's spirit or source. So this is just a game. It's the most exciting game in town, apparently, in all the universes. Okay, interesting. Next 6 months, universal reading, wish fulfilled, wishes fulfilled. So that means all of us that are spiritually awake and aware, we've been looking for open windows in our lives, a way out of, the everyday grind of life. And we're going to receive just that, because our consciousness is going to open up into a space that's so beautiful, no fear or little fear, just more of a joyous way of living. And that's where we're headed. That's what we're, if you will, fighting for, is sensitive, starseeds, and empath. And the fight isn't without. It's not taking your sword out and, doing battle. The battle is within. It's letting go of the karma. It's letting go of the unbalanced energies. It's letting go of what's holding you back from living a happy life, from going in a direction where you'll be cared for and loved. All right, I'm going to draw one more card while I'm doing that. If you've enjoyed tonight, Please give me a thumbs up. Let me know. I haven't seen any thumbs up tonight. It must just be one of those nights where everybody's like, me, what's she gonna say? And we have those nights occasionally. But give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're out there. A heart, a star if you like. Just so I know that everybody's out there and enjoying the program. Oh, look, there they come. Yay! Okay, cool. Now, here is the overall card. I ask, universal reading. What's going to happen for this planet Earth in the next 6 months is we've got balance, okay? On the chessboard, where wishes are fulfilled. Keep the light, ladies and gentlemen, keep the light, because as we go forward, as we manifest it, as we see it, so shall it be. And it's a balance between our physical body and our spirit body. Remember, I said used to, it looked kind of like this, like a figure eight, and there was a pinch right here. There's no pinch. Now, as we ascend, we're one, and our manifesting is lightning quick, just amazingly quick. I've had things that I've just thought about. Okay, I'd like to have this in my business or that. And the next day, somebody's like, here you go. Amazing. All right. Then I ask, as light workers, way showers, empaths, starseeds, highly sensitive people, I ask about where are we going to be from now to the next 6 months. And look at this beautiful card that came up. The light of the world. The light of the world. That's where we're headed, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you sit at home and clear Akashic Records for yourself, or whether you hold the light and smile at the clerk who's grumpy at the gas station, we are to shine the light in the face of adversity. We are to walk forward in faith. Faith is a frequency of knowing things are coming that you just may not see yet, but you know they're coming. All right, let's see if we have any questions. All right, Danny says, will justice be served to my situation in particular? Okay, Danny, while I'm shuffling, if anybody has a singular question that they would like to ask me, an Akashic Records reading. I didn't put hashtag free reading on tonight because I found when I do that in the past, trolls come on. You know, try to hack into my client base. So anyway, I trust everybody's doing good today. The energies were pretty good. They were actually good yesterday, even though I was in freak out mode. They were good today too, very peaceful. All right, Danny says, will justice be served to my particular situation? In my particular situation. All right. Wow. Danny, this is called intricacies and industry. Okay. So your particular situation, Danny B, is intricacies and industry. So you can see the guy over there and he's paying attention to the small detail on something that he's attempting to build, which is a church. So Danny, whatever your situation is, justice will have to go through these small intricacies, these small little things, wheels, cogs. It's like it's your justice is going to take a while to be served in your particular situation. It's going to take a while, and pay attention to the details. Pay attention to the details. Make sure every jot and tittle is served. Okay. Oops. Hang on a second. One card went to the floor. If you have one question, you know, Akashic Records, free reading, you know, just go ahead and post them down here in the chat while I'm shuffling the cards for the next question. Oops. Okay. I will be at For Heaven's Sakes Books in Denver doing Akashic Records readings and clearing. So if you're getting here a little bit late, go back, listen to the beginning. And we're talking about the Jumanji game, which a lot of us feel like we're playing as empaths and starseeds and highly sensitive people. And if you're having trouble like I was, where you're just feeling really stressed out and you're like, what is going on? Why do I feel so stressed out? There's, you know, no logical reason. or maybe there's a few, and it feels debilitating, like you haven't felt in years, then set up a time for us to get together. Let's find out what it is and set you free. Okay, the next question is by Kelly. It says, what is my next step? Kelly, so I asked what your next step was, and I got initiation and the Count Saint Germain. Here you go. So initiation means, you can see he's very enlightened. He's got all of his auric fields showing there with the royal purple and the white light and the students in front. So your next step is to be a student of the light, and get some instruction in that, and really begin to understand your divinity and who you are and the power that you wield. Thank you. I'm going to close that out. I really appreciate your question. Give me a thumbs up if that made sense to you. And Meredith says, how can I keep to the task I mean to be doing? Oh, Meredith. That's what happened to me Monday. I had tasks that I needed to be doing, and there was all this crazy energy that had to be cleared. You're funny, Meredith, but I will answer your question. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So, Meredith, you asked, how can I keep to the task I mean to be doing? This is very interesting. This is the card that came up, the chessboard again. So that means keeping to the task you mean to be doing is a game. It is a chessboard game, which means you've got to think, you've got to oversee the entire board, anticipate what's coming 2 or 3 steps ahead so that you can then step into the game knowing what's coming ahead. So if you know there's something coming up, planning for it, putting on the calendar, making sure you're headed in that direction and manifesting going in that direction no matter what it is. And I know sometimes I will have something on my calendar that I really intend on doing, like even today. And I blocked out that time for it. And what I find, Meredith, is I blocked out 15 minutes today to have a phone conversation with someone I've been trying to get a hold of for a while, and they agreed to it. And I got a reminder. And when I tried to call them at the time we were supposed to speak, it went to voicemail. I tried several times, it went to voicemail each time. And I was really upset at first. And I thought, no, there's got to be some divine order in this. There's got to be a reason why I'm not getting through. Well, after the 3rd time I tried, another phone call came in that I was expecting, but I didn't know when it was coming in. And so that gave the space for me to talk to someone else that I had business with that I really desired to speak to. So the universe worked that out. And then later in the day, when I had another free moment, the first person actually called me back, apologized they didn't make our time together, and it just worked. So my answer to you, Meredith, is to play the chessboard, to look ahead, how many steps that you have to take, and follow through with the plays, or the game plan that you've set out, and just keep going. Danny B, you're welcome. Okay. Yes, Kelly. It will be exciting to see you too in the academy. So that's cool. Anyway, if anybody you're welcome, Meredith. Does anyone else have any other questions? I do appreciate you coming each and every Tuesday, and I'm going to ask you to check out the Facebook stars and see if you want to participate in that. If not, there's other ways to give back, but it's just a small way to do that. So I thank each and every one of you that have applied for the Academy, that may be still waiting for me to look at your applications. Like I said, Monday was just crazy, absolutely energetically crazy. Finally got that straightened around. And I recently rewatched the movie Forrest Gump with my daughter for one of her class projects. And he says, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Well, Forrest, if you read the insert that's in there and match it, it tells you what taste is in what spot. But you have to read it to know that it's coming. And sometimes, even when you do read the box and you go in the direction of something that you desire, when you get there, the flavor may be different because somebody messed it up. So in that way, I guess life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, but you do know that it's going to be sweet. So I remind each and every one of you beautiful starseeds, empaths, highly sensitive people, way showers, light bringers, to focus. Narrow is the way. Narrow is the way. And through that, you will have peace in your heart, joy in your mind, and all things that you desire will come to you so quickly as we wait for the new heaven and the new earth to be at one with all of us, or us with it if you prefer. Have a great, wonderful night, and big hugs and kisses to everybody. I'll see you next week.